Sound check. Can you guys hear me? Good. What time is it now? This is afternoon. And good evening, wherever you're joining from. Let me know once you can hear me. Drop it in the comment section. And probably also let me know where you're connecting from, what country you're joining me from. I'll be glad to hear from you. Um, Let me be sure you can hear me. All right, you can hear me. Oh, excellent. All right, so let me also know where you're connecting from. Be free also to share this broadcast as we have very good conversation. Be very free to share it. With your friends, your status. You want to invite someone and say, come on, don't miss this opportunity. All right, so be very free. I think we still have some few minutes. Um, then I'm going to start. All right, let me know what country you're joining from. Nigeria, Ghana, United Kingdom, all right, Italy, America, all right. So good. Ghana, Gold Coast, Ghana. Excellent. All right, so you want to invite someone, one or two, share the broadcast with them and say, join in. Don't miss this opportunity. Egypt. Interesting. So this is not the right place to say that the Egyptians you see today, you see no more. All right, so you're especially welcome. All right, South Africa, quite a number of places, really. You guys are welcome. All right, so this is mentorship conversation. So it's not a random conversation. Probably this is the place where you get to um, maybe hear me say some things that maybe here and there quite unconventional. I personally don't like to be a conventional person. It's not my thing. Um, but there's something that really drives me when it comes to helping people. Um, it is the consciousness of the fact that everyone standing in front of me, including myself, have just one life. Unfortunately, not everyone really gets to understand that or maximize that one life. And sometimes you meet people, it looks like, oh, it's pretty late. Sometimes you meet them, it looks like, all right, pretty early. Maybe they are not even ready yet. So hardly do you meet people and you say, okay, this is quite on time. So sometimes they are late, a bit late, or a bit too early. But if you are here at this point, you're on time. And that's what I want you to understand so you can maximize these opportunities. The kind of conversations we have here are not the kind that really gets to go out on the internet space in the first place. And I'm going to tell you why. Sometimes, have you heard people say things like, please just share these things and just put these things out there? Okay, all right, just get a moment for me, please. And all that. It doesn't work like that. I think I've said that only a fool shares what he knows publicly all the time. Then, number two, it is not everyone who needs it that wants it. You must understand that. And that's one of the codes of wisdom. People need wisdom. They need knowledge. They need to be helped through life. But the kind of wisdom, the kind of understanding that bets people into destiny really is not such that should be thrown on the street. And that's why I intentionally put this meeting for this time. And you being here now is you saying, you know what, I know what my life is about and I'm ready for it. So I'm excited really. And yeah, I think we might be able to push on some things. So I said something when the video was sent out this morning. Um, there's something that comes first, even before talent, giftings, and privileges that people get out of life. Before your connection, before who knows who, before you talk about how gifted the person is, how talented, how whatever it is the person is, there's a factor. And so what I do basically is that I'm not just a pastor or an apostle, as you have it. I'm a coach. I run different organizations, so I'm a scout. What that means is that I'm always looking for people with potentials, people who have the ability, not not necessarily perfection. All right. I think it is unfair to expect perfection from anybody. I don't think it's fair because the one who is expecting it doesn't have it also. But there's a trait. There's this thing I'm always looking for when I'm talking with people, either they are heads of any organization I'm running, or they are aspiring to become one, or they are trying to work with me, or I see them working, or I just see them randomly online. Regardless of the gifting, there's something that if I look at the person and this thing is missing, I know that the person may have a moment. People have moments. And that moment where everything looks like it's just bubbling. But not everyone is really durable to have the basic character trait to carry them beyond those moments. You see, because life will not really give you the opportunity to have moments. But there's something that if you have, um, it doesn't matter how bad your situation is right now. It doesn't matter how broke you are. It doesn't matter how bad things are. It doesn't matter even the mistakes you are making. It doesn't matter whether things are fine or not fine. It doesn't matter whether you are accepted or rejected. It doesn't matter whether, I don't care, whatever it is. The moment I see this trait in a person, I know this person will get it. I've seen anointed people who lack that trait. They'll be anointed but small. I've seen gifted people who lack that trait. They are gifted small people. I've seen people who are connected who lacks that trait. The connection won't work for them. Because if anybody is going to pull your hands through life, then there must be some I can't pull your hand up and still help you stand. You've got to be able to stand. It's not everyone that can respond to lifting. There are people that lifting won't do anything for them. Let me give you an instance. I know some of you attended very good secondary school. I attended one of the best in town where I grew up to. There's this thing that happens in exam hall where people, maybe someone, a friend or someone in class, just randomly says, please, number 2, number 3. All right. And you tell the person the answer is so and so and so. Let's do for something. Say maybe Basido, my city is Asco, my city is. He say spell it. Then you know that your own issue is not ignorant forgetfulness. It's foundational problem. We have to go back to get it spelling right. So what I'm saying is that although what I've just said now ought to be what to break this person through, at least in respect to what we are doing now, but yet it is not sufficient to cure the person's problem. So there are people that you can't help because they lack that one thing. That even if they have the opportunity, it won't work. That's just the fact. And that thing is what I want us to look at. One time I saw, I think just on YouTube and saw one very amazing guy singing a particular song I love, sang that song well. I mean, he sang the song better than the fellow who sang the song. I mean, I played the song, I enjoyed everything. I didn't know when I just said, but this guy is not really going to go find music. Let me ask you, do you know about record labels? Record labels who sign musicians and all that. When they want to sign artists, what do you think they are looking for? Giftings, the ability to sing. See, Get this straight, and let this help you. Talent is not scarce. Gifted people are not difficult to find. If what you are banking on in life is gift and talent, your kind is not scarce. Mm. If you see record labels that want to sign singers, they are looking for something. Somebody that when they give this person a push, he can continue from there. That's what they are looking for. So when we see that ability to pursue, then we now check. Because this fellow can be gifted and yet sleeping morning, afternoon, and night. So they check the fellow's ability to deliver, to make profit. And you must understand this, that even God is profit oriented. There are Christians, and religion will destroy many people. There are Christians who are, I call them the elder brother Christians. They hate the fact that the younger brother who fell away was brought back and celebrated. That guy who had the audacity to go that length will also have the audacity to do the right things better than the one who is not trying at all. You must understand that. And that's the mistake. Sometimes we are trying to bribe God with the fact that we have a clean sheet. We forget that the one that we are trying to bribe is the purest of the pure. I don't know if you understand that. That God, you see, by own, you must understand this. Both God and the devil are interested in people who have the ability to bring back returns. There is the profit aspect of the kingdom. Anyways, that's that on that subject. So not, I mean, look at it. If you look at, there's a text, and that text blessed me so much. Daniel chapter number 1. When they brought out the Israel exile from their own land, brought them to Babylon. I mean, look at the requirements that the palace, the office of the king in Babylon had on ground. They talk about children who are of the royal seed. All right. Why is that? Because they don't want to start from the foundation for anybody. They need a minimal level of exposure. Then those who have the ability to learn, who can learn the language of the Chaldeans, who can learn science and learn all those things. But they have to be royal blood. Because there's a culture. There is what is required. The number of those they found that day, we didn't know. But at least we know Daniel, we know Shadrach, we know Meshach, and we know Abednego, Belshazzar as they call them. There are people that, unfortunately, both God and the devil can't use. They don't, that seed to deliver, that seed, that ability to deliver, to not be neutral through life, to not go through life as one who is merely existing, to be concerned when things are not the way they should be. That dissatisfaction, it's a seed. Not everyone has it. That internal seed that puts you in that space where you keep having a restlessness. Sometimes what you have is not peace, it's complacency. We mistake the boat. We confuse the boat. Say, I just enjoy peace. You are in trouble. Because with the way your life is going, you ought not to have peace. This is not the kind of peace that God promised. There is the natural discontentment that shows in the person's life that the person will be great. It ought to be there as a basic requirement. It's supposed to be a basic observation. If you notice that this is happening in your life, that there's just that hunger, that panting, something telling you there can be more, I can innovate, I can do all those things, there's no problem. You are in the right space. If you don't have that thing there, that's when you should be afraid. That's when you should be afraid. So you in dealing with people, you want to look for people who have that hunger. Yes. How do you know a person is hungry? They keep opening pots. They are checking. They are looking, what can I cook? Many Christians don't open pots. They are not hungry. Religion has messed up many people. You know, this concept that we have about God, that when your time comes, you will shine. As what? And, you know, this life is one-way ticket. It's one-way ticket. So, and every time you celebrate a birthday, you can't celebrate it twice. It's just once. And that one is gone. That's the only experience you will have of that age. It's just gone. So there are Christians, there are people that are not investable. You look at the parable of the talent. Jesus was illustrating the ability of God's children to make profit. The one that they gave that they gave 5 went to trade with it, came back with 10. Same as the one that was given 3, same as the one that was given 2. The one that was given 1 buried it. He buried it and said, I know that my master is a wicked person. He's trying to reap where. And that's the problem. I'm going somewhere. That's the problem with many Christians, with many of us. That hunger is not there. And you see, I was given an illustration in one of the private classes I had. You should get it. I think it's on the digital library, Femi Lazarus digital library. The message titled, Are You Really Behind? Look at a relay race, for instance. You see hundreds of people. They put them in one space. They're about to start running. It doesn't matter who is in front. It doesn't matter who is behind. Everybody will be tired when they are tired. The race is too long for the space to be an advantage to anybody. And that's the way life is. There are people that I think I shared a story. I remember one time somebody close to me had the results and I didn't like the result. We're on campus. And I just said on his behalf that, no, we need to contest this result. This is not right. Something must be wrong. And he said, no, I know my capacity. And I said, I shook my head. I said, there's a problem here. All right. I remember also when I went to serve, I was posted first and foremost to a college of health, somewhere in Ondo State, Akure. All right, posted to a college of health. And there was this girl that I met there. Also, coppers. You just finished your camp and now you're going to your PPA. And then the provost just gave me a paper and said I should write out the list of courses I could take. And I wrote out the list of courses, and the girl beside me studied biochemistry. To my amazement, that girl went on her knees and began to beg and said, I don't mind being a cleaner here. That I managed to graduate. I struggled to graduate. So please, I can clean all the tables. I can wash the toilet. I can do all that. And that's the reason why, particularly those of you who are in a relationship, talk. The Bible gave us the expo. The only way the foolishness of a person can be concealed is if the person is quiet. If a foolish person keeps quiet, you think he's wise. So the way to unravel foolishness or wisdom is to get people to talk. When people talk, their level is exposed. If you want to be a global figure, you have that drive within you. Now you are doing life with somebody who is very handsome or fine, but the person is always responding to the force of gravity. They are too heavy for flight. You won't go anywhere. You are thinking forward, the fellow is thinking backward. There's no compatibility in sense. That's the problem. Anyways, but since you say God said that's your spouse, who can argue with the Lord? That's the problem. And that's where Christians, the fellow is entering what will kill him. He said, God said. He said, God said. That person that you are saying God said now, if that person is not fine, will God say? If that person is not fine, let's say that today now, something happened, a fire incident, the person's face got burnt. Suddenly God will change the mind. The God who checks beauty and doesn't check brain is not my God. It's religion. I think Uncle Kwe is here. He shared a story. He must have forgotten the story, but I remind him. They went for, was he camp meeting or what's the meeting? Where you guys were on campus. It was a retreat. Then somebody began to prophesy. Somebody began to prophesy and start assigning spouses and say, no, nobody marries anyhow like a Christian. Honestly. Begins to assign spouse. Jesus Christ. Said the brother that was prophesying had a sister there that he liked. And everyone that stood there as competitor to get that sister, he reassigned and reallocated someone else. And said, you, Maori, Jailikai. That's your wife. You, me, Mua, Kade. That's prophecy is not epilepsy. Okay? You, this one, and then he apportioned everybody their own corner. They now looked at him and said, Alagba. Sister, the boy is here now. You didn't. Is the Lord not speaking? This sister, is she not going to? I said, Oluwanifishi, the Lord has use for her. Smart guy, bad guy. Clock it. Bad guy. The Lord. That's the way many people's life has been made miserable. People. Like I said the last time I had this session with you, I believe that when Africa took the baton of religion, we went backwards. Spirituality and religion, they are not the same thing. Until you separate it, you will not go forward. You've got, see, let me describe what religion is. When Adam fell, he was stripped of the glory. He had to take fig leaves to cover himself. That is man orchestrated method or idea to approach God. It's organized, but it withers. It is the glory that fades. It's man's idea, it's not God's idea. And the problem with those things is that they can cage you for life and destroy you for life. It can shape the way you see life. It can shape your perception. It can shape everything about your life and damage everything. In fact, there are certain things you ought to become that you may not become because of your religious inclinations. And religion really, religion is brutal. I've seen people that were sick and simple blood transfusion will save them. But there's a religious belief that they are not to have blood transfusion. And they will die in the process. That kind of ideology that welcomes people's death prematurely and forgets that every intervention in medicine and science was actually from the wisdom given by God. The reason why God rested because he's giving man brain to think. Yeah? And that doesn't mean we don't consult God on matters as touching our lives. But these things have damaged people's lives as, it has damaged, what people can become. Look at this illustration. And while we're having this conversation, please do well to like, and if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you should. If I see that we have a generation of people who are very, not just spiritual, but cerebral, who are trying to, who have that genuine desire to understand their way out of life and to learn, we can, yes. There's nothing stopping me from making the sacrifice to have this probably weekly. And this is totally apart from my mentorship community. But we can have this open one and then see what we can touch from there. Yes. So you must understand that. I can tell you many stories of people that these things have destroyed. Even when it comes to issue of hunger, for instance, I think I was watching a podcast. I can't remember who that was. I think it was this guy, Diary of a CEO. I don't remember his name now. All right, he shared something. He was asking a very powerful guy sitting in front of him. And he asked the guy, he said, what's that trait that you see? Say you have worked with some of the most impactful people, some of the most successful people from sports to entertainment and all that. They say, what's that trait that you see in every successful person you have worked with? He said, hunger. What is hunger? It is the manifestation of dissatisfaction. That's hunger. It is when dissatisfaction is manifested. It comes with um, a sensation that puts you in that place where your craving becomes loud. You just want this. Because everywhere there's hunger, there's a need for dissatisfaction. The most difficult person to attempt to help is the one who is not hungry. You want to know what shame looks like. Attempt to help somebody who needs it but doesn't know he needs it. That's the problem. Many people are just not hungry. They've plastered them in a way that they just believe that what is written is written. There's a way my life, things will just change. I told you one time about someone I know that I feel that religion damaged the person's life. Somebody prophesied to the person and told the person that God said he should not go for his NYC. If you're not in Nigeria, NYC is when you're done with your university, you serve, the nation for a year. Then you get a discharge certificate, which will be relevant in many things you want to do, really. So, and then he said, God said that the person who is going to take you abroad, you think abroad is heaven, that somebody is coming that will take you abroad. The person will walk into your house and hold you by the hand and take you abroad. That's how the brother dropped out of school. In fact, prophecies like this is one of the reasons why we have emergency prophets. I believe that if we keep having people who could not have succeeded at any other thing except they go into ministry, Africa cannot change. And I'm not going to say that politely. I'm not going to say that. Because if we have people who are only serving God because they are not employed or don't have the ability to produce in any other area, then there will be problem. They will enter into it for their own gainful, greedy reasons, exploit God's people. And as a coach, you can't even give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. That's a problem. All right. So that hunger, that thing right there. I don't care who your dad is, I don't care where he works, what school you attend. Go and check some of the most powerful people and some of the most successful people. Some of them rose through the ashes. I was sharing the story of a man who was one time one of the director of First Bank. He finished in Lagos State University, I think Lagos State University. It was those times that if you finish as the best in your faculty in year one, you have scholarship for year two, and just like that. So he was an orphan, if I remember the story. He said he had to be cutting wood to sell. That was how he was able to pay for his exam to get into school. So all the money he had was the money into part one. Now he knew that if he should fail in part one, then he would have to drop out of school because there's no money for part two. So the only way he could remain in school was for him to beat every other person in the class and become the best in that faculty. So when he finished and then became successful, they asked him, what even motivated you when you were in school? He said, poverty. The same poverty that people are using as excuse for stealing. The same poverty that people are using as excuse for wasting their lives to doing irrelevant things. watching, streaming every day, things that has nothing to add to your destiny, is the same thing that someone else used as a stepping stone into greatness. There comes that time in your life that you know it will cost to you. Nobody's coming to help me. And like I said, sometimes I don't waste my time. People say mentor me and all that. The problem many people have is that you have too many options. If you fail today, there are people that will carry you. That's your problem. If you crash now, you have too many people who are excited. So they'll just help you. But those of you who are like me, that must not crash. If you are like that, you know where you are coming from. You can't afford to go back with excuses. If you now still don't have hunger at that and that sense of dissatisfaction with where you are, to keep panting and pushing to break into new space, new understanding, new dynamics, then you are to be pitied. In fact, even in ministry, I understand this well. The quality of a person has a lot of role, has its own, as the role it plays in determining the person's outcome. Not even the quality of the person's teacher, not the quality of the person's exposure, not the quality of the knowledge at your disposal. We are talking about the quality of your person, who you are as a person, your natural state as a person. Whether you are somebody who is naturally satisfied or who is always panting for more. There are people who would have still, I'm not saying, when it comes to success in life, they would have still succeeded as an unbeliever. There are people like that. I'm not saying, please don't quote me out of context. All right? Because of their nature. If there are, I could call names. I could call names. And you look at it and say, okay, this is true actually. Sometimes what you need is not trying to jump from one profession to another. In fact, if you have not succeeded at a thing and you leave that thing for another thing, the chance of not succeeding is very high because you have not mastered how to make things work. What you are learning is how to escape. It's one of the things I've had to tell myself. You don't leave a place because what you are doing is not working. And I'm not saying you should kill yourself there. I'm just saying that make things work. I remember I was somewhere to preach, and this is an intellectual conversation. So one of my boys was with me, and he was supposed to stay with me overnight. And I was asking him questions. The way he was talking, I said to him, go and get another room. If you stay with me overnight reasoning like this, by tomorrow I would have been lesser than what I came with. And why did I say that? Someone say, but Apostle, that would have been an opportunity for you to impart him. There was not even a common ground to even impart him. Sometimes you need rejection to know that you have a problem. Let's start with that. Sometimes you need to be walked out of rooms to, okay, now it occurs. Some people need a rude shocks. Because this same person, when that happened, he wept that day, but the version of him I have now. In fact, if I mention his name, you will not believe. So there are people that just putting pen and paper in front of them will not change theirs. You know when the battery of a car is dead, you need to jumpstart it. Sometimes that's what disappointment looks like. It jumpstarts a person to reality, shakes you and tells you, like you believe, maybe you are one-eyed man in the city of the blind, you're a guy who doesn't even know his right from his left, but you're among girls that are desperate. Like I said, many Christian girls don't know what a successful guy looks like. So they just date anybody. And for the first time in your life, the girl you believe is dying for you just gave you no. Just say, sister, whatever. Yes, no, you are not my type. Sometimes, in fact, one time, in fact, this one happened right in front of me. A guy was asking a girl out. And I mean, I knew the guy, so I knew the guy was kind of not a smart guy. And the girl looked at the guy. When the guy was done talking, the girl placed her hand on his shoulder, on the guy's shoulder. And she was looking into his eyes and said, go and think about it again. The guy was almost saying, yes, mommy, yes, yeah, I've got to think about it. That's somebody's love of my life. It's true. Religious people don't like intellectual conversations. Once you bring up intellectual conversation with the religious people, they say it's pride. Because religion helps us to hide. If something has gone wrong because you didn't do something right, all you have to do is to say it's the devil. If the devil has a way to sue Christians, many people will be sued for defamation. You've done something, okay, this is the devil. So I've observed that there are people you can work with because when you push them a bit, they know how to continue from there. And I want to say this to you. If everyone in your circle are not doing well, change that cycle. Yes. You heard me. Change it. Yes. I told you the way Apostle Selman said it. Said if you have 4 fools as friends, you didn't count well. You are 5. That was a big slap. If everyone in your circle are not doing well, they are always change that circle. If nobody is inspiring you, because the sociologist will say that we are a product of nature and nurture. Our environment shapes us. What we see, what influences our minds, the quality of conversations we hear. I told you last time I was here that there are friends I have. I just want us to drive around together. Don't tell me anything. Just do your stuff. The quality of conversations they are having, the things they are saying, is shifting my own paradigm. It's bringing me to an understanding that there's more. If every time you have friends, you're always the best in that circle, something is wrong. Maybe with your esteem. And you want to check it. You want to check it. In fact, I tell you this. Take this as a mentorship counsel from me. You don't really have to start anything perfectly. Just start. Yes, you don't have to start. Perfection will catch up later. In fact, if you are really going to go far, you don't need perfection. You need improvement. Just start. Sometimes people do things and they are doing this. What this thing that you're doing is bad. Can't you see it? So I tell people who work with me like this: if you can see an example of what is excellent around you, you have no excuse for doing anything wrongly. Because your hunger also will manifest in your ability to learn and replicate what is working. So start, okay? Then start learning. Start finding people who are doing it better. If you start anything and you just always want to sink it in, that's the best around, that's this and that, you have low self-esteem issues. People who are going to change their world don't have that time bragging about being the best at anything. When you are busy celebrating them in this level, they're already moving. They're already thinking of something else. They're already changing stance. They're already... All these things. We have this delusion of this sense of grandiosity, that affects the things that we do. The sense of grandiosity. We just feel like the next best thing after jollof rice. Oh, it's the fastest growing church in Ibadan. It's the most this, most that. Will you please stop that? Because eventually, you're just in a tiny space in the earth. And there's so much more that can be done. But sometimes we sing our own songs too early. That's the problem. We sing our own songs too early. We sing our own songs too early. So you talk to people. The one who is the captain of 10 is so because he's comfortable with 10. The one who is a captain of 100 is so because he's comfortable with 100. The one who is a captain of thousands is so because he's comfortable with thousands. Jesus gave the blueprint. Everyone that seeketh, findeth. That's a powerful one. It means, okay, let me give you this illustration. Let me tell you a story. There was a time, years ago, in Ife, where like 6 in the room that night, staying off campus. Usually, so I was there like the father of the house, I'm the one who always makes sure that there's something to eat. And for some reasons that night, there was no money, there was no food stuff, there was nothing. We had a woman to the right called Mama Ada who sells provision. We're owing her. We're owing her. We've bought spag, we didn't pay. We've bought oil, we didn't pay. We've bought Maggi, we didn't pay. There's another woman to the left called Mommy Favor. That one too, we're owing her. That one sells fish and tomato. If you take credit from Mama Ada, you go and balance it, Mommy Favor, say I'll pay you later. So we're owing the both of them. Shame will not allow us to go and take credit on credit. Amazingly, there was not even a sachet of pure water in the house. 6 able-bodied guy, no food that night. So I stood up. Having tried everything within my capacity, I said, tonight we all will go to bed without food. If a night like this ever repeats itself in your life, it's your choice. Good night, guys. As far as I'm concerned, that's the last time that ever happened. And I also noticed, even at that time, that there are people that, even if everybody is dying, they are not moved. Their life is me for myself. There's no leadership seed in them. They think they are stingy. No, they are not leaders. They don't fend for, they don't care for. Even if people are dying and they will rather hide it. One time I had somebody that was staying with me. We're all broke. So I needed to go buy, because he said he doesn't have money. I needed to go buy something. And I cited him. When a car is going in that direction and he was coming, the car just flashed on his face. He was eating something. Later I found it was hot potatoes that they put pepper. He was eating it. So as he saw that I was the one coming close to him, he put it inside his pocket. Bad guy. And the thing was burning his leg. As he was talking to me, was burning his leg. I stood there and wasted his time. I was saying in my mind, today you will hear rubbish. That's not leadership. It's not. It's people think it's stinginess. It's lack of leadership. That it still talks a lot about the quality of a person, the quality of your person. If we're going to add anything to you, it was that quality of your person. That's the constant. That's the constant. And if something is wrong with that quality, a lot will be wrong in life. So I've just been thinking about it. I don't care whether you are indebted now, whether you are owing someone, you don't even have house rent, you don't have enough food stuff, you've not even been eating well, maybe things are not so fine. But if you are that person who is always looking for better ways to do things, there's that sense of dissatisfaction within you, that sense of hunger. There is that sense of you will break through. There's a video. Let me see if I can get my team to send it to you. They showed me before. I told them I am not going to put this out publicly. But for you, I can tell them to give you here. Just a moment. Let me see. Okay, so let me send this to the team. Then I'm going to get that one for you so that you can look at it. Listen, guys, sometimes people say, please come and mentor me, come and teach me this, come and teach me. Listen to what I'm saying. Some people think that maybe those things sound inspiring. If you are asking questions about things that are observable, there's no smartness in that. There are questions people are asking that the answer to this thing can be observed. And the answers can be observed. They are around you. That's how you know people that will go very far. They are observant. Because they are hungry. Hearing with your ears is one channel of learning. Seeing with your eyes is another channel of learning. There are people that until they see and hear, they can't learn. It is through observation that you can pick what a person is not even intending to tell you. Observation is the highest form of learning, the highest way to learn. There are questions people ask a mentor, and the person may not even be interested. But as you learn to observe, you pick it. All right. So I'm sending a video to the team. So my media team currently are in Nigeria. I'm in Canada. Let me see if they can get it to you. Of course, they will get it to you. But there's one particularly that I'm looking for. So let me ask you guys a question and answer in the comment section. I'm going to respond to you. Someone said that Sunday said that, honestly, I thought I was left out because of lack of mentorship, but I decided that this year I must be transformed mentally. Excellent. Excellent. So you have to keep pursuing that Sunday, okay? So let me know what you're pursuing. What keeps you awake daily? What puts you on your toes? Then mention those who are also inspiring you. What puts you on your toes daily? And what keeps you awake at night? All right. So while you're doing that, my team, they are going to post this video. There's another one I'm looking for. Maybe I'm going to be able to show you that one. Ari, if you can get me that video where I spoke about. Now these people are mentioning are in Nigeria, and I'm not saying are you online or not because they're expected to be online. All right, get me that video where I spoke about. Maybe you've sent it to me before. People who are not children of privileged people, but you will end up meeting somewhere in life. Yeah, I said it was too direct. Let me see that video. I would like to show them that video. So yes, what keeps you awake at night? Someone said, who is this? Jennifer, say legacy. You better be direct and be open. All this, what is your, someone says your teachings or apostle, interesting. The gospel of our Lord Jesus. Okay. Now somebody said the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ keeps you awake at night. If I argue with that person now, I'll be wrong. You understand what I'm saying now? Because now you have religiously trapped me. But inside my mind, I know that. Me to you. Okay. All right. So I won't mention your name. Someone said the sphere of small mindedness. Say being better than I was yesterday. This from Uche Chuku. That's good. And One woman that inspires me is Ibukun Awosika. So good, so good, powerful woman. We say dreams and goals don't let you sleep. What are the dreams and goals? I said, I know that you are not about to. What are the dreams? All these big words like that. One of the signs that you know what you are talking about is that it's simple when you say it. Simplicity is the proof of understanding. So fear of being average really impacts. All right. Someone say fear of going broke. Okay. Um, one time in my life I was in a phase where someone said forex trading. All right. I was in a phase where things were very bad, very, very bad. There was no even assurance of coming out of such situation. Things were very, very bad. But messages of people who have. I was particularly looking for people because listen, that's what people don't understand. Who have gone through that phase that I was and came out. They have answers to my questions. It's not everybody who can preach well that have answers to your questions. You must be able to tell the difference. All right. Ari, I'm waiting for that particular video. Yeah, you have it actually. Powerful video. So while I'm waiting for that and you're dropping your comment in the comment section, I want TJ, you can go ahead and play that one. How do you finance the ministry? I have courses I've taught on ministry finance. You can get that on Digital Library. You can go to Play Store and download Femi Lazarus Digital Library. The good thing now is that even teachings that people don't have access to before, what I teach in School of Ministry, are now available online. So yes, and there are things about ministry finance I can't say here because some people are here also as spectators, and and I don't want to say anything that will be gotten out of context. Someone said, my children will not experience what I've experienced in life. I joined the world to say amen. Okay. You must have people who inspire you. And when you have such people, don't do it religiously. I don't have any right to inspire you if I'm not doing much in life. Yes. Don't live a biased life that you have to mention a person because the person is your pastor. Oh. I may love you, and yet you are not inspiring me. You must be able to tell the difference. Like I said, many of our biggest shifts begins when we break free from religious shackles, and stuff like that. So I love your contributions and your conversations. So you want to also put in the comment sections, what are the things you do daily towards fulfilling your potentials? Daily. I'm not saying the things you do monthly. What are the things you do? Someone said, this is a question. TJ, hold on with the video. Let me just answer some of these questions. So what do you read during your 3 hours or 4 hours? So I'm just going to give you, so in Abuja, I have 3 offices, one in church, then 2 elsewhere. All right. So, but there's a particular office where all the books I have there are about nation building, leadership, management, which also, right. And yeah, so I do a lot around that. Yeah, yes. Let me just leave it at that. So yeah, and I read a lot of biographies. Just have to say, my team, they are looking for this particular video. So what I said in that video, it was taught when I taught, are you really behind? I gave illustration about children who don't have access to impartations, who don't have access to all the, but they will still meet those people who have access to it somewhere in future at the same table. Because hunger is the same thing as, hunger is even more powerful than privilege. It is hunger that puts the beggar on horseback and put the prince on the floor. The lack of it put the prince on the floor, on the ground, and walks. And if you understand the way life works, you will never cry because you were born without silver spoon. If you have that sense, that was what Isaac gave Esau now. He said, when you become discontented, you will break his yoke. There's no yoke a discontented man cannot break. There's no yoke. There's no yoke. All right. Okay. Somebody just sent me the video now. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay, TJ. So I have this video now. I'm going to send it to you. Thank you. My team just helped me see it. So let me send this one to Nigeria, and then they are going to post it immediately. I read daily to equip my mind. How can I improve spiritually? Like I said, there are questions that so let me help you understand something. How do you improve spiritually? By paying attention to spiritual things. Simply put, the word of God and prayer. All right. How many hours do you sleep, sir? What is your daily routine and what inspires you? I will answer one out of those three. Pick one. But I rest when I have to. I just think that the rest is a reward for those who are working. If you are not busy, it is fraudulent. All right? Yeah. Yes. And you must understand that that quality of being hungry doesn't mean you are not grateful. Yes, you are grateful. But you just know that there's more. That doesn't mean people are not celebrating you. They are celebrating you. But you've moved on. Something keeps telling you that there is more. A lot more can happen. So there's this video. No. The second one. There's this particular video I want you to see. You will never see it elsewhere. We are not going to put it out. I even discourage them from putting it out. But because you are here, I'm going to give you access to see it. And yeah. I might want to find a day in the week that can work for me to have this conversation with you. Maybe that might be my own opportunity to bring people out that I can help. Because even the current mentorship we are running, it's not sustainable. I might be at the end of that operation. It is not every relationship that is sustained through loyalty. There are relationships that will not be sustained if you don't grow. This person loves you, wants to be loyal, but you're not growing. Two can't work together because they're not agreeing. You must understand that, please. All right. So, yeah. How can I get hard copy of the book you wrote? It depends on where you are. Just go on Instagram, Femi Lazarus Books. Request for hard copy wherever you are around the world. We have a distributor in America, Canada, United Kingdom, so you can get any of the books there. So this particular video they're going to put out, I want you to listen very well. Listen attentively, all right? Listen attentively. It's going to be one of the most impactful things that you listen to. Yeah. Um, um, it is not everything we put out, because currently our world, we are not used to having pastors who are also intellectuals. So if you put things out for people to change their life, you can just hear a religious statement that the person who is saying doesn't even understand what he's saying, that leave this thing and teach Jesus. And that person too doesn't even know Jesus. You just hear this. You just hear all those things. So their understanding of who a pastor and apostle is somebody who sleeps and wakes up in church, who doesn't have any other contribution to the society than just saying in Jesus' name. So when God is showing us different dynamics, we fight it because we just don't understand. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. All right. Once they show you this video, don't tell anybody I told you what you're about to hear. All right. So, all right, go ahead now, media. And then I'll be back once they show you. And then I will answer a few questions when I return. I've seen one from Talks Angel, so I'm going to answer a few questions. The marathon race now. I want to show you something. Look at these hundreds of people. Lives. The fortunate ones. They're in front. We, in losers, do. They have better advantage. There is. Let me say it again. There is strong for where they are to be an advantage. Is born in to be the reason why they will be ahead of you. Begin to run. You don't put them on the line. Whether you are in front or at the back, you'll be tired when you are tired. Whether you are in the middle, wherever, you will be tired when you are tired. At the end of the day, or you are not born with it, do you have the endurance it takes to finish? Because you can be born with certain privileges and you don't have the spine to what? Finish. Let me tell you something. And I'm saying this because I happen to be among those who are at the back of a race like this. So, because it's not, meanwhile, I'm talking about endurance in respect of physical race and all that. The leverage, the way God leverages all of us in destiny is access to divine wisdom. Life has placed you as, let's say, the son of Femi Lazarus, the amazing whatever man that God is using. Then you come. Then you are another young man in town who doesn't have access to the kind of people he has access to. You don't have access to the quality of even impartations that he has access to. You don't have access to the quality schools that he has access to. But he has access to those things. He's benefiting from what the Father has labored to get. You are not benefiting that now.
But you have the kind of hunger his father had that make the father his father. You will not be like him in your generation. You'll be like his father. He is the son of a great man. You are a great man. There are two different people. On the bill of the hunger that is your own blessing, eventually you will meet. And eventually it will be a privilege for him to meet you. Sit down. If you understand that, don't mourn where you were born. Don't mourn it. Don't cry about it. Don't. Understand that some of your biggest opportunity is hunger. Nurse your hunger like a baby. It will put you where the patriarch stands. There are people you will not have access to in your life to lay hands on you because you were not born where you are close to have such access. But I tell you, on the bill of that hunger that is well channeled, you will stand in greater height than they stood. If you will not spend your life complaining and saying things like, oh I wish, oh I wish, oh I wish, just maintain that hunger. Now let me tell you this, your case will be so unfortunate if children like that now have more hunger than you.
Get the full message on Femi Lazarus Digital Library app today.
That felt like that should not have ended. I don't know. I don't know. That's a very, very powerful one. Um, you might need to go over that again and again. You might need to go over that again. That's a very, very powerful one. That's a very powerful one. That those who have better opportunities than you in life now have more hunger. That's it. That's a serious one. All right. So I want you to go on with this as you start the year. Things may not be perfect now. Things may not be the way you want them to be. But have that mindset that is always in search for better ways to get things done. That mindset that believes things can be better and will not rest till it becomes better, that is ready to pursue, till things take shape that they should take. A day at a time, a decision at a time. And definitely you might be joining this conversation from anywhere, sitting in one room apartment, squatting with somebody, managing your life, maybe on the bus, maybe it's struggling to get something done. But if you nurse that baby called hunger, one day you will sit on the same platform with your mentors and they will feel so privileged to have you. That's the way life works. Eventually, that thing called hunger leverages all of us. There are people I meet today that I've met before, didn't open their doors. But today they opened it. Not because I kept knocking. I left to grow. Sometimes get out and grow, then come back. Just leave. Focus on yourself. Grow, then come back. Failure is an orphan. Everyone wants to be around those who are doing well. All right, such a great time spending time with you today. I'm excited. I mean, like to have this once in a while. Let me know how this has blessed you and inspired you today, if it has. Um, Someone said your series Corridors of Power are not on Spotify, but we told you, go on Play Store, download Femi Lazarus Digital Library. You have everything, even messages you don't even know exist. You're welcome. Download it, and then you have access to everything, even my mentorship classes, everything. Apostle, when are you coming to UK? I don't know. Once winter is out, I will know. All right. So, how do you deal with comparison? I don't compare myself with anybody. You should not also. Anyone you compare yourself with, you reduce yourself to the level of the person, both in life and in destiny. All right. So never compare yourself. It's a very bad thing. It makes you unnecessarily competitive when you should compliment. All right. I think those are the questions I've been able to see. I've told you where to get the message. Corridors of Power. So I see you guys some other time. Make sure you're subscribed on this YouTube channel so you can get to have information firsthand. Monyolua said, I thought my hunger was me doing too much, but today I just know that I'm not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Keep nursing that thing. It makes you pay attention to digging deeper, to getting more answers. Yes, please, you're not wrong. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I see you some other time when I see you. And just make sure you're subscribed here and you have access to it. Then you can get those things firsthand. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
The light you have received today is only the beginning. For access to all of Apostle Femi Lazarus's life-transforming teachings, visit the Digital Library app. Dive deeper, be transformed, walk in truth.